Hear that? Hear that? That's the sound of the Friday song, which must mean it's Friday. Got to get down on Friday. And it is the last day of the third quarter, 75% of the way through. Hard to believe. We've got only a couple months left till we get to high noon on Flag Day, the 14th of June, which is our Regents exam. And we're going to be spending the fourth quarter getting ready for that like you would not believe. Can you believe it? All right, let's see the bonus. All right. Hey now. Mr. Kovacs class. It's Mr. Kovacs class. You might learn a ton. It's Mr. Kovacs class.
He's interesting too.
It's Mr. Kovacs class.
And he's super cool.
It's Mr. Kovacs class. Let me introduce you to my great and I've lost track. Grandparent. Yeah, probably share the same grandparents with some of you. In fact, we all share a common ancestor as a human ancestor. Like there's the mitochondrial Eve that we learned about, right? She's the mother of us all in a way. At least we're descendants of her descendants who have managed to survive. Let's talk a little bit about human evolution. Foremost, humans are primates. Our kind of thing are primates. We're related to those other guys that can do this. Right? Touch each. And then the other thing that primates have is these nails. That other nails. These, I should run them down a chalkboard. No, that would be terrible. Right? And so, right, like there are some other animals that can grasp all four fingers with their thumb, but they have claws. They're not primates. If they have nails, so they have to be able to do both. And so we're primates. And that includes things like lemurs, things like tarsiers, things like monkeys, and of course the great apes. And we are considered, you and I are considered one of the species of great ape. We look at human evolution here on this kind of graph. This is a cladogram, right? Where so the lines going down represent years, millions of years. This being zero, like present day, and then going back, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. a million years ago. It shows that the common ancestor of our kind of thing and the chimpanzees and the bonobos was around about 7 million years ago. 7 million years ago, right? That's our common ancestor. Those are our closest living relatives that have not gone extinct. We had closer living relatives that like Homo neanderthalis or Homo heidelberg or Homo erectus that are much more closely related, even more genes in common, but have all gone extinct, right? In fact, let's see, can you read this chart, right? How many years ago was Homo erectus around? Or based on this chart, how about Ardipithecus ramidus? How many years ago? Or how about our friend Lucy, one of the oldest skeletons, full skeletons we found, Australopithecus afarensis? Good, you can read that cladogram. And so this cladogram just tells us where our ancestors are, and this is all supported by fossil record, things found in the fossil record. And then, of course, we have ancestors with the other great apes, which included gorillas and orangutans. That was even farther back. We had a common ancestor somewhere between 9 and 12 million years ago. And that guy looked like this, right? So he's not an ape, or he's not a chimp, he's not a bonobo, he's not a gorilla, not an orangutan, not a human being, but was the ancestor to all of us. And of course, their offspring, the ones that were successful in different environments, different traits became selected for natural selection. And now here we are, right? 12 million years later. And when we think of humanity, we usually think of modern humanity, which really only goes about 5,000 years. So if you think that the first Homo sapiens, human being things, were around 250,000 years ago, it's only been in the last little bit of time, right, that there's been what we think of as modern humanity, of living in cities and in groups and having governments and having organizations and stuff like that. For most of humanity, our kind of thing just wandered the earth like other wild animals. It's kind of weird to think of it that way. Okay, but about 5,000 years ago, there was some benefit to communally associating. And my guess is that's even been picked by natural selection, whereas you associate with communities, you're more likely to have offspring, and those offspring survive, than if you just keep on being a nomad out in the, trying to live on your own out in the wild. And it kind of makes sense. You got people backing you up. And so maybe we have evolved to being more social because of that. And certainly here, you guys know how hard it is to be alone and not to have friends or family and those kinds of things. It's terrible. And we are social animals. And one of the things that being a social animal does, not only does it allow us to survive pretty well, but it also allows for technology. If you think of one of the things that separates humans from most every other species is our ability to manipulate the world so that we can live in almost every climate. Right? There are people that live in the Sahara Desert. There's people that live in high mountain regions. There's people that live on remote tropical islands. There's people that live basically everywhere, cold, wet, hot, dry. And usually it's because they have technology to bring with them, the technology that allows them to survive, right? And how do they know that? That's learned or an acquired trait. So one of the benefits of being human is we have this collective acquired intelligence. Like, we remember things and we pass what we remember and what we've learned on to future generations so they don't have to relearn them. Maybe that's one of the reasons you're here now. Anyway, human evolution, as we studied, is still ongoing. We're not done yet. But a couple of interesting things because of most of the time through humanity, you just bred with those nearest you. There used to be more variation of human beings. Now, because people can travel the globe so much easier, there's actually less variety. We're starting to mix more, which means humans are becoming more alike than different pockets of unalike. Right? But we're all still the same species. And it's fascinating. If you want to know more about human evolution, I mean, there's not a lot on it on the regions, but go ahead and look up those ideas of human evolution and some of our friends out there, our extinct friends and relatives, and get to know them. All right, let's have a great Friday.